This is your girl Yannick Taylor, aka Priestess, hostess of Conversations with the Priestess. Here's a preview of what you may hear on Conversations with the Priestess.
We weren't meant for monogamy, let's be honest. Like, we have needs, let's be real. And communicating that, what you want, what you don't want, what sets up. Now this drink is brown, because I learned something. Since I'm older, I can't do brown liquor anymore. Also, I noticed since I started on hormone replacement therapy, HRT, in 2015, me and certain liquors don't match well. I don't know whether...
And I recognize that a lot of men love to be dominated by women. And that's because men are seen as these leaders, as this big alpha male dominant being. And because they're put on this pedestal of being leaders, sometimes they want to be submissive. Back when I cosplayed a Butch Queen in South Carolina around 2011, I was on Craigslist. This is when Craigslist was bumping and before they had gotten rid of the personal section. I hope you enjoyed that preview. Join me on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. for Priestess After Dark. Full video versions of the podcast can be found on patreon.com/CWT Priestess, and join me on Fridays at noon for our regular Friday post. Live, love, and be free. Smooches.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you download and stream podcasts.
Four Pillar Sports, a podcast for sports fans, made by sports fans. Join Chris and Randy every week as they dive deep into football, basketball, baseball, and professional wrestling. Catch For Pillar Sports on all major platforms. And remember, keep on talking sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this very special episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Trigger warning, we will be discussing stigma related to HIV, as well as violence against queer and trans people. This is going to be a heavy episode, so we want to let you know what's in store. We thank you so much. Live, love, and be free. Smooches. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a special emergency episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Pour your wine, grab your cannabis. We're about to dive in, all right? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another emergency episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Now, I know we have heard all of the debacle about DaBaby and a little tirade that he went on. Many of you know DaBaby. I don't know any of his songs, but I know he had a recent collaboration with Meg Thee Stallion, and that was probably the only best part of it because he really sounds like he's a basic rapper with the same groove. But what do I know? I'm just a lonely gay person that's living with HIV, which obviously I'm the type of girl that's not welcome at his concerts, but it's cool because I weren't checking for him anyway. So what happened over the weekend? DaBaby had a concert, and in between songs he made comments that were very homophobic, misogynistic, and stigmatizing of people living with HIV. So what ends up happening is he makes a comment during the break, I'm assuming, and he says, yo, if you walked in here without HIV, AIDS, anything that will kill you in 2 to 3 days, put your lighter up. Put your lighter up if your pussy smell like water. Then put your lighter up if you're not a nigga getting caught sucking dick in the parking lot, because some of y'all be suspect as fuck. All of that type stuff. Okay, bet. Go figure. That's your archetype. Okay, we're going to let you have that. We're going to let you live in that, and we're going to let you do what you're going to do with that. Okay. So, first and foremost, I find it funny, very funny, that this is obviously what is on this man's mind. And I'm wondering where his mind was at the time. I'm really wondering that. It must not have been nowhere important or nowhere needed. But what was jacked up is that he basically made it seem like, oh, you have HIV, I don't want you at my concert. And I can imagine those people that are living there cis, heterosexual, trans, queer, whatever, felt some type of way when this man said such ignorant comments. Now, don't get I get it, people can say whatever the hell they want to, but that, especially if you're in public, don't make that a reason for you to be trash, because dude, you already got a reputation for being trash, for attacking women, for being misogynistic with Meg the Stallion, for basically opening your mouth and being trash. And this solidifies that for me as well. Not only the fact that you talking about dicking people down and you're worried about what two men do in the comfort of whatever place they in, if they in the parking lot or whatever. Why is it concerning you? I need to know this. And the fact that a lot of people are trying to justify what he's saying, and it's crazy, because we have a lot of our queer and trans family that will still support him, knowing good and god doggone well he don't care anything for y'all. And that's the stuff that get me, that y'all are apologists. Are y'all that self-hating? But the fact that not only did he come from a place of ignorance, but he basically made it seem like that you're dirty or unclean because you live with HIV. And I'm like, the baby, you're running your career, because the gays can make or break your career. For real. And the fact that he singled out people living with HIV, that hit a percentage of your population. Then skipping the misogynistic part, then going further, and he's saying, if you ain't a dude or a nigga out there that then got caught sucking dick in the parking lot, dude, excuse me, why are you worried about who is sucking dick in the parking lot? You came for the gay community. Whether that person is DL or whether that person's in the closet, why are you worried about it? And you set up violence against both groups of those people, not realizing the stigma that queer people and people living with HIV have to face. We are persecuted daily. We are often denied entries into certain groups of people. We are deemed unfit by religious folk. We are deemed unworthy of living by society because we're diseased or we're dirty. And not only that, if you understand that black women who you fail to protect by any means necessary, by bringing out Tory Lanez after Meg the Stallion did her set and did her thing, which probably showed you up, shows me that you're trash. But not only that, but the fact that you even doubled down on your stupidity, like for real, like and I was thinking about giving you a chance, but I'm like, nah, no, I'm sorry, I can't get with that. Like, no. And you sounded so ignorant, as if you're some hero or something. No. And this also goes back to ignorance and toxic masculinity. Yes, even from our own community, like for real. And because we've heard back in the day how they talked about people leaving with HIV. They said, oh, they must have been gay, or they must have been out there doing this, not realizing that some people may have been sexually assaulted. Some people may have had it passed on from their family member, from a parent, or if you were back in the olden days, simply a blood transfusion. But it's not important how somebody got it, or the fact that someone may have gotten it. It's the fact that the person is still standing, and that they are a testament that thankfully is not the death sentence that it used to be back in the day. So there's another point where you're ignorant in, like, making it seem as if, oh, you're gonna die, when there's so many advancements out here. And people saying, oh, someone should educate him. I'm sorry, but I'm exhausted with educating cis hetero people, or people who do not live with HIV, because it affects straight people, it affects heterosexual, it affects everyone, okay? Excuse me. Anybody can get it. And it can happen to anybody. I thought it would never happen to me. It happened to me. And seeing a celebrity that has a platform to make change, using it to spew ignorance. Ah, and it's sad that it's our own black community that's doing it. Straight people can't stand this because we're living in our truth. People think we're the reason why HIV is prevalent. And then what's so crazy, a lot of his demographics, sadly, are people in places that are highly disadvantaged for care or for things as it relates to people living with HIV and healthcare. Now, I'm not saying that the baby need to jump on the bandwagon and start doing advocacy work. No, because later on, he goes further and doubles down on the fact that he said what he said, and he said, well, the gay people that are my fans, that are my friends, they not sucking dick in parking lots. They don't have HIV and AIDS. Sir, as long as they are human beings, they are going to be sexually active. Okay? And number one, black and queer people, they have sex. They suck dick in all kind of places. You watch the stuff on these patron pages dedicated to SW type stuff, and the fact that you watch cishet people. So you are still spewing ignorance, because how do you know these people ain't sucking dick in parks? You go around carrying a camera with you. You go around seeing who got HIV or doing tests out there. If you did, you probably would be a little bit more educated and be able to sustain a fan base. But the sad thing is, I know this man's career is still going to flourish. The fact that I know that this man's career is still going to flourish because of the fact that we have queer and trans people in the community that feel that, oh, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't have this, I don't have that. They play this elite game like they're better than everybody else and treat people living with HIV and also some of their own queer and trans brothers and sisters like trash because of stupid stuff like your HIV status or how you choose to have sex. Why are you policing someone else's body with how and who they have sex with? And why is it your business? And why does that make you better than someone else or less than someone else? Some of your favorite celebrities probably got caught sucky in the parking lot, but yet you want to act all grand like you don't do all of this. You are a part of the problem. You are a part of the ecosystem in the queer community. Like, for real. And not to mention that a lot of the black community are sitting there and co-signing on the BS. I'm like, dude, you never know who could be affected by this. And it's just deplorable. But also, I'm looking at cancel culture as a whole. Is it really worth it when we know that he's still going to get a pass from black men for this utterly disgusting show of toxic masculinity? It's a very nasty show of toxic masculinity. And I will stand on that hill till I'm blue in the face. And the fact that we keep giving people like this a platform when we know that they're trash all the way around. Like, come on, people. Help me make this make sense. Help me make this make sense. And the fact that we give people like Kanye West a pass, Lil Wayne, for some Azealia Banks. We give these celebrities passes for trash ass behavior. And these are the people that our kids are looking up to. These are the people that we're having young boys and young girls follow after. But y'all always hollering about the children, especially when gay people or queer or trans people are involved. But when it's toxic shit like this, y'all don't say a damn thing about it. Y'all don't say anything. Y'all sit there and co-sign on the BS because y'all would be like, oh, well, at least my child won't turn out gay, or at least they won't catch this. But baby, you're not doing your research about things. Like, for real? It's funny. how they made this big stink about Lil Nas X and his Industry Baby video for being so sexual. But the same thing, they let their kids watch these sexualized videos with people like the baby, like Lil Baby, Tory Lanez. They can watch the WAP videos, and they're pushing their young men to be the sexual beings, saying this gonna make you a man. But that child has not grown up to figure themselves out. You're embedding that in them, and anything that breaks out that norm, you have an issue with. And y'all want to say Lil Nas X is furthering an agenda to spread gay and to spread HIV and AIDS. But ignorance, like what the baby spewed, is what's killing the community. The people perish for a lack of knowledge. And my thing, I love Lil Nas X because the money that he raised from his music video went to help those that are affected by the corrupt police system and the bail money system in America. He did that because he understood that cash bail is what's hindering a lot of poor black people, a lot of impoverished people. That cash bail is just another tool steeped in the system of white supremacy and elitism. And not only that, but Lil Nas X is giving a beacon of hope, which I don't know what the baby is giving. So I'm seeing a difference in your stereotypical cishet rapper. And what's so offensive, if you are a real rap buff and watched industry and know about Eazy-E and how in the 90s he died of complications from AIDS, but you call yourself a real rapper not knowing that a top rapper in the 80s and 90s died from AIDS complications because there was no knowledge. If you were a real rapper, you would have known that and would have been more sympathetic. But no, you're stuck in your mindset. You're lost. You are willfully ignorant. And I don't understand how people can choose to be willfully ignorant in 2021 when you can easily research. And the fact that you double down on such stupidity is not only homophobic, but it's humanphobic. It's just downright disgusting. And I hope that he comes to his senses. I'm not going to wish ill on his career. I wish that he has a blessed career, because I'm not going to do evil for evil. But I'm going to pray that he accepts the consequences of his actions and be ready for those, because there's consequences to every action. And you know what's so funny about this whole thing is that someone, I don't know if it was beforehand or afterwards, must have been afterwards, threw a shoe at the baby, which I found it funny as hell. You talked all that shit and somebody threw a shoe. And if you're familiar with that, y'all know that throwing a shoe is a sign of protest. And somebody threw a shoe at George W. Bush. And it was very messy. I will agree with everyone that say that it was very messy of the baby to say all of that. But he deserved that shoe. I hate that it missed. And he gonna say, who threw that crusty ass Adidas? I got a question. What is an Adidas? What is an Adidas? What is an Adidas? It must be singular for an Adidas shoe. Like, for real? Oh. And I'm sorry, but we letting ignorant people like that. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to give y'all some news, and we're going to get up out of here. All right? Love you.
For Pillar Sports, a podcast for sports fans, made by sports fans. Join Chris and Randy every week as they dive deep into football, basketball, baseball, and professional wrestling. Catch For Pillar Sports on all major platforms. And remember, keep on talking sports.
The great visionary leader of India, Mahatma Gandhi, said, "It is health that is real wealth, and not pieces of gold and silver." Listen to the Healthy Grocer radio show on your favorite podcast platform. We know that health is our greatest wealth, and we will be discussing all aspects of natural healing. Explore everything from supplements, superfoods, and healthy lifestyle choices to help conquer stress and boost productivity. Top industry experts and natural health professionals join us for a deep dive into our healing journey. You can find the Healthy Grocer radio show on demand every day wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And remember, health is your greatest wealth.
This episode of Conversations with the Priestess is brought to you by Maven. If you need some new hair, some new styles, Labor Day is approaching, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. Honey, I need y'all to get your bundles with your girl, the Priestess. You can save 20% off of your next order if you sign up with your email. Go to priestessbeauty.maven.com. You won't be disappointed. So let's get our glam on, all right? Come through, girl. I know that you all are supporters of Conversations with the Priestess, but for those that are nudists and naturists, I have a separate podcast for that. Just, that's how I roll. So y'all going over to my podcast, Naked Colors. You can find that on Spotify, anywhere where you download and or stream podcasts. Please show us some love. We're on a new platform, and I need this podcast to grow because I have great things planned. So y'all going over to Naked Colors. I have some great resources if you are interested in nudism, naturism, basically living a clothes-free lifestyle. So go on over and subscribe today. Live, love, and be free. Let's jump back into the show. And we're back. So, one thing I will say, darling, is that speaking of these morals, I'm very saddened at the people that the Black community, especially the cishet community, admonishes as being role models. People like T.I., who's accused of sex trafficking. Even Bill Cosby. Let us even go as far as R. Kelly. One of the things that pisses me off about the Black community is that we will hail a corrupt hero that has admitted basically to sexual assault, to drugging women to have his way with them. You see the mounting evidence of people's sex trafficking, and you see the harm, but yet we still hold this as a morally acceptable example. And I'm trying to figure out if this is still a part of the slave mentality, or the fact that anything that is not hurting you is, I don't understand. I don't understand that philosophy to where they overlook sexual assault, but they want to damn people for living with HIV, AIDS, or simply for being queer. I'm sorry, but I would rather get rid of the nasty, perverted relative and keep my queer or trans child around, especially if they are bettering the community for people around them, for their friends and other people. Because what the queer and trans community do in the fight for justice is not just for the queer and trans community, but it's doing it for everybody else. And it's funny that the same people that we fight for are the ones shitting on us. And I hate to say it like that. I really do. And it bothers me and angers me to say that. But baby, we must really sit there and examine what is needed for our community. And it's so sad that the Black community is so divided as it is, that we can't come together and put aside petty differences, our religious differences, our differences on sexuality and gender identity, when science is proving a lot. But people fail to realize that Black people are queer, Black people are trans, Black people are different. We are unique in all of our ways. So why have that hatred? I get it. Yes, a lot of it comes from white supremacy and things like that. But also a lot of it comes from self-hatred as well. And this idea, again, of toxic masculinity, and there's so much we can go on and on about. But what happened to morals? A time where people were taught respect, if we were ever taught that. When are we going to get to the point to where we show love in this fight? We're all one oppressed community, but in every community, there's going to be oppression within every community. We see the rich and the poor, the queer and the trans in every community. We see that. But when are we going to put that aside and show real love? Show real empathy to people? This is something that I want to know for myself. And I'll be glad the day that it happens. But we're not all free. We're not free until all of us are free. We're not free if some of us are still in bondage. So with that, I'm gonna go. Y'all live, love, and be free. I'm out.